For a smartphone maker that had traditionally marched to its own beat with its Symbian operating system, Nokia had stunned a shocked audience back in February outside Mobile World Congress when it had announced that it would be tying its fate to that of Microsoft's in bringing the Windows Phone 7 operating system to Nokia-branded hardware. Today, under a year later, I have the first fruit of Nokia's labor in the form of the Nokia Lumia 800, which is the company's first debut Windows Phone 7 device. This phone runs the Microsoft Windows Phone 7 Mango operating system and is the more feature-rich offering, which will be followed by the Lumia 710, a more entry-level smartphone aimed at the masses. Will the Lumia brand, which means light, be able to guide Microsoft and Nokia through thick and uncharted waters? Waters that it had ceded in the smartphone market to Apple and Google since 2007 when the first iPhone debuted? Or will the Nokia Lumia brand be like a dying star which will implode and take both Microsoft and Nokia back down with it? I'm Chang Wen for Gotta Be Mobile and Notebooks.com. Please join me in this video review of the Nokia Lumia 800 and see if this is a smart and competitive phone offering from Nokia and Microsoft. On the left-hand side, we have the retail packaging box for the Nokia Lumia 800, which is covered in the Nokia blue color. I'm going to go ahead and set the phone aside for just a moment, and we're going to go ahead and open the box itself to see what comes shipped in the box. To open the box, all you have to do is pull on this blue tab, and the top cover slips right on out. On top, you have this tray where the Lumia 800 would sit on top when the device comes shipped to you. Just beneath the tray is the first box, which has the letter I on it. And inside you have some informational guide for the Lumia 800, including a quick started guide and some other guides to get you going on the software on the Windows Phone 7 operating system. The nice thing about the guides are that they're available in a number of languages and they're quick and easy to read. Next, we have another box which comes out and reveals the silicon gel-like cover case for the Lumia 800. It will fit snugly over your phone and leave the ports accessible where you need them, including the camera port on the back, the charging port on top, and the speaker on the bottom. Just below that, you have a tray here which reveals a number of accessories. The first one is a micro USB to USB charger. This is a wall charger. As the phone doesn't ship yet in the US, this is an international charger right here. It also comes with its own USB to micro USB charge and sync cable, so you can either plug in the USB end here to the charger, or you can plug this to your computer to charge and sync the phone that way as well. Also included are some in-ear earbuds. These are just some standard black earbuds with a remote control here, so you can pause and play your music when you're on the go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the device itself. On top, you do have this 3.7-inch curved AMOLED display. The display itself lends it nicely to the design language of Windows Phone 7 and really makes this an experience that really highlights both the hardware and the software. As Windows Phone 7 uses a design language that requires a lot of horizontal swiping, what you'll notice is the curved glass display makes it easy for you to swipe without any obstruction from the bezel or from any seams. The glass display itself sits right on top of this unibody polycarbonate design, and it uses an AMOLED display technology which lends itself to nice vibrant colors and also great viewing angles as well, so you don't have to look at the screen spot on to get a clear reading. The display also uses Nokia's clear black display technology, which makes it visible and readable even under the brightest of outdoor lighting conditions. And also with AMOLED, what you have is this rich, deep, dark black, so you don't have this washed out gray looking black as you will with some LCD displays. This really enhances the Windows Phone 7 experience because, as you can see here, Windows Phone 7 has a black border on the top and the right hand edge. And with the AMOLED display, you can't really tell where the screen itself ends and where the bezel begins, and then you can't really tell where the hardware and the software actually meet, which is a nice translation of the overall experience where hardware melds beautifully in with the software on the Nokia Lumia 800. Looking at the hardware itself, you do have this 3.7-inch AMOLED display with 3 Windows Phone 7 navigation buttons on the bottom for the back, Windows, and also the search button, which will also do dual purpose. When you hit the back button and hold it, it will multitask, hit the Windows button and hold it, and it will also bring up a voice command. Taking a look at the device, on top you have a 3.5mm exposed headphone jack. To the right of that, you do have 2 covered ports. In order to open the first port, there's a little button here. All you have to do is to press on it, and it will open up this latch to reveal the micro USB charging port. To the right of that is the micro SIM card tray. Unlike on the iPhone, you don't need a SIM ejector tool. All you have to do is slide left and it will automatically pop out. So you will have access to your micro SIM card while you're on the go. On the right-hand edge, you do have the volumes up and down button, followed by the power button, and then you have the dual stage camera shutter button. The power button might be in an odd place for some people, but if you're moving from a simian smartphone, such as the Nokia N8, you'll notice that the power button occupies the same space and position as the screen lock slider that's on the Nokia N8, so it's a continuation of the Symbian design language for Nokia. On the bottom of the phone itself, you do have a grill here, which hides both a mono speaker along with the microphone, so it's covered behind the grill. On the left-hand side, it's very clean, but you do notice that the sides, the left and right-hand side, have this outward curve to it, and then the back side of the device also has a curve to mimic the front curve of the front curved glass display. So essentially what that means is that the phone will fit very comfortably in your hands. You do have this ergonomic and minimalist design, but the design itself doesn't sacrifice on the usability or the functionality of the phone. In using the phone for several days, what I can tell you is that the Nokia Lumia 800 actually feels like an extension of myself rather than a tool. While the Lumia 800 won't win any thinness competition like the Droid Razr on Verizon Wireless, unlike the Motorola design, this is a more natural and human design while being at the same time very minimalist, so it's both form and functional. On the back side of the device, you do have this chrome strip. The chrome strip does actually attract some fingerprints, and you will be able to see some noticeable scratches if there are any. It does house the camera pod, which is a Carl Zeiss Tessar lens. It's an 8-megapixel camera with a fairly large camera sensor, and it performs rather well. There's a dual LED flash, and the camera itself can record in 720p. The phone itself utilizes a unibody polycarbonate construction, and what you'll see is that the nice part about this is that the paint isn't actually painted on, and it's actually a dye that's embedded into the polycarbonate plastic. So even if you have a deep gash or scratch in the device, you won't see the scratch because all you'll see is black, which is a nice feature because the paint won't scratch off. The nice part about the dual stage camera shutter, and to access the camera even when the device is on standby or when the screen's off, all you have to do is hold the camera button down for several seconds and it will take you to the camera interface. But the nice part about the dual stage is that you can press in slightly to focus and then press in again to take your picture. But this is actually highlighted when you're taking a picture in a dark room such as a bar or in a dark restaurant. When you press into focus, the camera, if you have the flash on or on auto flash, it will shine the flash so you can actually see the picture that you're trying to capture, but it will also help the camera focus in advance, so you'll have cleaner and crisper pictures that way. Here we're taking a look at the Windows Phone 7 lock screen, which displays a nice graphic here in the background, and also it shows the time and date. To the bottom of the lock screen itself, you'll see that there are indicators for some notifications such as emails, missed calls, and new text messages. And depending on the type of notifications, they each have a slot here on the lock screen, so you notice that there are some spaces and gaps. You'll notice here that I have the number of notifications also appear, so I have 2 missed calls, 2 new email messages, and 2 email messages from another account. To unlock the screen, all you have to do is swipe up and the lock screen slides over like a curtain. And you'll see that there are other notification systems as well. So beyond the lock screen, you have two more types of notification. The first is the notification that appears here in the live tile. So here on the tile for Outlook emails, I have two notifications. My IM Plus account here for instant messaging shows that I have 99 new messages. Certain applications also can pull in messages, so my Yammer account here shows that I have no new messages in my feed, but I do have 9 messages overall. Notifications can also be delivered via a toast interface, so it's similar to what iOS 5 is doing now, where a notification just kind of appears here at the top bar very discreetly and not in your face. The problem that I have with the Windows Phone 7 notification system is that you actually do have to drill down into the individual live tiles, apps, or hubs to see where your notifications are. So unlike on iOS or even on Android, where you have a common notification center at the top with the notification drawer where you can just swipe down and it will show you all your new notifications. On Windows Phone 7, you actually have to view each individual tile or app to see where your notifications are. So you do miss some important notifications that way as well. With the toast notification, if you have successive messages, so if someone's constantly pinging me on IM, I'll only be able to see the latest message. I won't be able to see, the message before that if I hadn't had the opportunity to look at those messages prior to when the new message arrives. Also with the Windows Phone 7, you'll notice that the interface is kind of refreshing. It's this long scrollable list of live tiles, which are kind of like widgets. They automatically update themselves. So here if you see the people widget, it will go through animations to display images from your various contacts. So this is the main start screen, as you will. If you're a Windows mobile user, you'll notice the start screen. And then you can either swipe to the left or you can hit this arrow here and it will pull you to the second screen. There are only 2 screens that are important here, and this one will give you an alphabetical list of all your applications that you have downloaded. The nice thing is that any application that you've downloaded, you can actually create a shortcut and you can pin it to the start to create a live tile itself. Some applications will automatically have a live tile that automatically updates, like the People Hub or even this Weather Hub. And then other applications are static. So depending on the application and the developer, if they've optimized it for Windows Phone 7 Mango, you'll have different functionality coming out there. So unlike on iOS where everything's in a grid or the confusing multi-page widget home screen on Android, you only have 2 screens. You have basically a shortcut screen with widgets or live tiles, and then you have a screen with all your apps on Windows Phone 7. So it's a different type of paradigm, and I think it's kind of refreshing to see a change from the traditional widget interface. Apps are grouped together in sort of like a hub-like structure. One of the hubs is the Office Hub, which pulls together all your productivity information. So you can create new documents, and then you can also pull in cloud-based documents as well through Office 365, SkyDrive, or SharePoint if you're an enterprise user. And again, you have this panoramic interface where it will show you just a hint of what's going on the next screen if you swipe over. So it gives you an indication that there's more content to be seen with this panoramic interface. So it will tell you to continue swiping if you haven't found what you're looking for. The menu bar is actually on the bottom here, and it will give you different options. It will dynamically change between different apps. So you'll have various different menus here in the bottom. Another hub is the Games Hub, which is in the Xbox Live. The Games Hub, if you open it up, will allow you to see your collection of games if you have any. And then if you get more games, it will bring you back to the standard marketplace for Windows Phone 7 where you can download games, various different apps, music, and videos as well. With your own profile here on Xbox Live, it will show you any achievements. It will allow you to configure your avatar and change your profile if you need to. If you have any gaming requests or if you have any friends on here, it will show you any new messages that friends have. And then if you have friends, it will show you their status if they're online, offline, and you can go ahead and challenge them to play games with you. So you can do multiplayer games that way over the internet or a Wi-Fi connection. The Games Hub will give you spotlight so you can discover new games and see what's new and other hot games that people are playing as well. And then again, it takes you back to the main list of games that you have downloaded already. Let's go ahead and take a look at the email application. So here we've just noticed that our Outlook account went up by 1 email. Let's go ahead and open up our Outlook and see what came in. So on the first screen, this is the panoramic screen, you have the all. So it will give you a list of all your emails. If you swipe over, the next screen will be all your unread emails, any flagged, urgent, and then it cycles back to all. And then the screen that you're looking at will be in bold and everything else will be grayed out, and to give you an indication that there's more content to swipe through. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the emails. Let's go ahead and look at this EA Smart Brief. If you're an iOS or a Windows or an Android user, you'll notice that this is different in that there's not a common download pictures or show all pictures. Rather, pictures are, you can tap on any placeholder for an image where the image would have been placed to download the picture. So depending on the layout of your HTML email, the download all picture will be in various different locations in the email rather than in a common location where you can access no matter where you are or no matter which message you're in. And emails do download fairly quickly. You'll notice here that I'm actually on an Edge connection and not an HSPA connection or a 3G connection. For some reason, this does work on AT&T 3G here in the US, and I do have pretty strong AT&T 3G coverage, but this phone always seemed to default to Edge after a while at my house. So I'm not sure what's going on with the radio, but it seems to like the Edge connection better than AT&T 3G at home. But in other locations, it was able to hang on to even a weak AT&T 3G connection. So it might be because this phone's not optimized for a US network yet, but for whatever reason, it seems to always default to an Edge connection. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 capacitive touch Windows Phone navigation key here. So if you, from any screen, let's go ahead and take a look at the email screen again. From any application or screen, if you hit the back button, it will go back 1 screen previously. If you hit the home button, it will take you back to this Metro UI, the live tile panel here in the front. However, if you hold the back button here, tap and hold, it will bring you to the pseudo multitasking environment. Windows Phone 7 doesn't quite allow all third-party applications to run in the background. What you have is that with Mango, if developers customize and optimize their app for Mango, they can go ahead and have the application quickly resume to the last saved state when you actually open it up again. So that's a nice feature, so you don't actually have to start from the top. So you'll go back to the last screen that you were on. But here you can quickly see the last couple applications that you have opened as well just by hitting the back and hold button. The search button will bring you to the Bing search, so you can go ahead and type in your search. The Windows Phone 7 keyboard is actually quite excellent, and it actually rivals the iPhone in terms of both speed and accuracy, and also in the auto suggestions that it provides. So it's very intelligent and intuitive, and I think it works quite well on a large screen and even on a smaller 3.7-inch screen like on this Nokia Lumia 800. On the bottom here, you notice that you have further options. So not only can you do a web search, you can go ahead and hit this buildings button and it will show you local search for restaurants and shopping as well. So you do have local search options just by hitting the search button here. There's also a music search. So if you tap on this, it will go ahead and if you place the microphone near a speaker, we'll actually be able to listen to what you're hearing and try to identify the song lyric. Kind of similar to what SoundHound and Shazam are both doing. This eye icon here will actually bring up a visual search so you can scan barcodes, book covers, CD covers, and DVD covers, and even QR codes and Microsoft tags. So you can actually scan various different things and have the results come back to you. So it's in an easy and centralized location. And you also do have voice search just by tapping the microphone icon here. You can ask it to search for what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and search for Gotta Be Mobile. GottaBeMobile.com. Let's go ahead and try that again. GottaBeMobile.com. Apparently it's not recognizing me too well today, but you get the picture of what the search option can do. You can also pull up the voice search command just by tapping and holding the Windows icon here at the center, and it will bring you up with the Tell Me application, which will then go ahead and ask you what you want to search for. So let's go ahead and try asking it to call Xavier. Call Xavier Lanier.
Call Xavier Lanier, mobile or work.
So it will go ahead and ask you and confirm with you what number you're calling if you have multiple numbers. So that worked pretty well. The next app that we should take a look at is the People's Hub, which is similar to a contacts-like app. And again, you have the panoramic UI experience here. As you can see, a hint of content on the right-hand side, asking you to further swipe over. This not only integrates your contact information from Twitter, Facebook, Windows Live, Google, Exchange, and other social networks such as LinkedIn, but it also will give you the latest status updates from various contacts that you have. So it's a nice way to integrate a lot of your social networking into what your contacts are doing right now. And if you've taken a look at various profiles recently, it will show you all the recent contacts or the profiles you've looked at. And then you can also group contacts. So here I have a family hub and a friends hub. So you can actually create a group with up to 20 contacts. So that way you can send out a mass text message or email quickly to plan things around. So if I want to plan things with my coworkers, I can set up a work group, and then I can just tap on work and then have it send out an email to all my colleagues. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of our contacts. Let's go ahead and take a look at Phone Dog Aaron, or Aaron Baker. And you can see here that I can quickly write on his Facebook wall if I wanted to. And other things, if I have saved there, such as email or phone number, if I tap on it, it will show what his email is, and also if I tap on it, it will pull me into the email hub so I can go ahead and send Aaron a quick message. It will also show all his recent status updates from the networks that I have linked in with him. So that would be LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook here at the top. And then pictures is a nice way to see what your contacts are doing. So if I drill in, I can see all his albums and various pictures that he has saved. So that way, if he took a vacation somewhere and I wanted to see the pictures, I can go ahead and quickly see that. So it's a very integrative experience. History will give me a call log, a text message log, or email log of any contacts or communications that I have had made with Aaron over the last few days. There's also a pictures application, which is a nice way to integrate both with the camera roll and also with your social networks. So what's new here will give you recent updates from your various friends on various different social networks. If you scroll over, you can choose pictures from your camera roll, your online album. So it does integrate with the free 25 gigabytes of SkyDrive storage from Microsoft. So if you have a lot of pictures, you can back up there or you can store them there, and then you can access it from the albums key whenever you have an internet connection. You can also sort by date and by people, so it's a very integrative experience that pulls in not only your own images, but images from your friends as well. For a multimedia experience, there's music and video, which is pretty much part of the Zune experience. So if you have a Microsoft Zune Pass, or if you have or if you want to buy a la carte from Zune, everything would be stored here in this music and video hub. Currently, I don't have any music synced or linked here. The other cool thing is it will actually allow you to listen to radio as well, both internet radio, and then any apps that you have downloaded that are music related. So I've downloaded Last FM, I've downloaded the TuneIn Radio app, so both of them automatically appear in the music and video hub, so I can access them quickly here without creating shortcuts for either app, which is a nice way. And then you can also plug in earbuds as well to listen to just regular over-the-air radio. That way you don't have to go through your data connection by listening to online or internet radio. And then Marketplace, which is here, will allow you to shop for different applications and different content that are available for your Windows Phone device. This one actually automatically recognizes my SIM card being an AT&T SIM, and it pulls up AT&T App Center as one of the hubs where I can download content from, which is a nice touch. And then here's the scrollable list of applications. For the Nokia experience on both the Lumia 800, the Lumia 710, and other future devices from Nokia, the company will be adding extra value to your purchase by giving you specific Nokia-created apps. One app that currently isn't available in the US right now where I'm testing this phone is the Nokia Music app, which is pretty cool in that it allows you to discover, listen to, download, and browse music content for free. So like with the Zune Music Pass, you don't have to subscribe or pay a la carte to purchase music. It's kind of like a Pandora radio, except for you can also listen offline. So you can download a limited number of content, so that way in areas where you don't have internet access or can't get internet access, like on a plane, you can still continue to listen to music that way. Another application is the Nokia Maps application, which allows you to have similar functionality like the Bing Maps application, and it allows you to see local businesses and search for local addresses as well. Taking it a step further, with turn-by-turn voice-guided GPS navigation in a number of different countries is the Nokia Drive application. It's actually quite it's a pretty simple application, and then right now it's trying to get my position. You tap on the settings, it will bring up and give you various different settings here. And then once my position has been acquired, it will also give me the option to navigate both in landscape and, both in 3D and in 2D. Here we're looking at a 2D map image of Germany. But as you can see, you can go ahead and pre-cache or even download all your maps, so that way you don't have to have an internet connection or use your data plan when navigating through your city, which is a nice feature. In my experience, the Nokia Drive application works quite well. It was both loud, accurate, and acquired a GPS signal pretty quickly. The downside is that there's no text-to-speech through that application at this time, so it will tell you to turn left in a number of feet, like turn left in 50 feet, but it won't tell you turn left on Main Street, so it can't pronounce the street names at this time. And then there's also other applications such as Local Scout, which will allow you to discover local content nearby. So we'll tell you, where are the best places to eat and drink, to shop, and to find cafes and bars. There's also a Nokia Sports Hub, which integrates with ESPN content, and it will give sports lovers a nice way to stay connected with their favorite home team or their game while on the go. To access the camera, all you have to do is go into your applications list and select camera from your options to launch it. Or what you can do is use the hardware button here and just press in on the shutter button. If you long press on it for a couple seconds, it will automatically launch the camera, regardless on whether or not the phone is locked or unlocked, which is a nice feature to quickly access your camera. On the table here, I actually have a Mango, which is kind of appropriate since we have the Windows Phone 7 Mango operating system, and we'll use this as our still life for some sample pictures right now. Windows phones on the Nokia Lumia 800, you can't actually use the volume buttons to adjust the zoom setting. Instead, you'll actually have to use the software control, which jumps quite a bit when you're tapping on it to adjust the zoom. This does use a dual step shutter, so if you press in halfway, it will focus in on the Mango, and if you press in hard, it will go ahead and capture the image. The phone doesn't offer any other Nokia settings. It's actually just the standard Windows Phone 7 settings. So we do have settings here for ISO, the metering, white balance, different scene modes, and contrast effects, the focus mode, resolution, and flicker resolution or reduction. So it does come pretty full featured, but unlike the HTC Titan, which HTC also added some extra features such as burst mode, which will allow you to capture pictures in rapid succession, and also panoramic mode. You don't have that here with Windows Phone 7 on the Lumia 800. You can also adjust the flash by turning it on, off, or putting it into auto flash mode as well through the settings control. In video mode, you'll notice that once you zoom in, it does jump quite a bit as well. Once you start capturing your video, the downside is that you have no access to zooming. So unlike on the Symbian-powered Nokia N8, you can't zoom in or out once you begin capturing your video. You actually have to stop your video recording and then adjust the zoom that way after, and then begin recording again, which may be a downside for some people. The other cool thing about this phone is that not only does it support a dual stage shutter, so you can focus in by pressing in halfway, there's also tap to focus, which will give you more focus controls on your subject, as well as giving you a depth of field perception. So if you have a subject that's close and then a subject that's further away, and if you want to focus on the closer subject, it will blur out the background to give you some nice photographic effects that way as well. And if the Mango right now is in the center of our frame, but if it's off to the side like it is right now in the corner, all you have to do is tap to focus, and it will not only focus, but it will also capture your image that way. The upside is that it's a quick one-step process. The downside is that if it's too close to the Mango, or if it's too far away where it can't achieve a good focus, it will automatically capture your picture that way, and it will give users less control of their camera settings. I'll show you that in just a minute by swiping left to see some of the pictures that I have taken, and where the tap to focus doesn't work quite well with a one-step method because it doesn't focus in on the picture, and then you'll have a grainy shot. So for instance, let's go back a few more shots. So for instance, here with the USC Trojan football player action figure and the Trojan statue here at the back, if I meant to focus in on the football player itself, but you can see that it's not quite focused all the way, and you can see the letters, the USC letter on the helmet being blurred out. This shot, it actually focused in and you can see the USC letters pretty clearly, but on this shot you can see that the camera didn't focus, but it still took a picture anyways because of the tap to focus. The cool thing about the tap to focus is that it can provide you with some depth of field. So here you can see there's a picture in a subject in the foreground and a subject in the background. I focus on the subject in the background, so the foreground subject here is slightly blurred out, which is a nice effect. And here the foreground subject is in focus and the background is blurred out. So you can see that you can have various different effects with the option to tap to focus. With camera images, you can quickly share to Facebook as well. You don't even have to download the Facebook application on Windows Phone because it automatically integrates with both Facebook and Twitter. And then you can also autofix as well. You have various quick edit selections with the camera, so you can quickly trim and crop your images as well. So here it actually prevents the image from being washed out with just this quick selection. You'll notice here that some of my images actually come out with a slight blue tinge to them, and some of the images have different colors to them, and it seems like the camera wasn't able to. So you'll notice here that the background here is a little bit more green than this background. And it seems like the camera can adjust for the different lighting types of lighting situations that are around. When I took these pictures, they were with fluorescent type of lights, so the camera wasn't able to adjust for some of the images, it looks like. Hopefully a future software update will be able to rectify the problems, but here are some of the sample images that I've taken both with and without flash. The Nokia Lumia 800 is a fine first effort from Nokia, but it still shows that it is a first generation hardware. For instance, without NFC support, the Lumia 800 won't be future-proof as NFC and digital wallets start taking off in the US and in other countries. There is also no tethering support out of the box, though Nokia promises that tethering will be enabled via a software update in a future release of the OS. Additionally, there's no HDMI port, and Nokia's utilization of a smaller 3.7-inch display means that those with larger fingers or who prefer a larger 4-inch or 4.3-inch screen for reading may look to competitors for a larger display size. With the utilization of the pentile sub-pixel arrangement on Nokia's AMOLED display, that means Nokia made some sacrifices when it comes to clarity and crispness when it comes to rendering pictures and graphics on the display, and when you look closely at the screen you do see some pixelation. On the software side, choosing Windows Phone, there are some other design compromises as well. Though the OS is a refreshing change of pace from iOS and Android, Windows Phone at this time currently doesn't enable true multitasking like its rival operating systems. The limited push notification system without a centralized notification engine like on iOS or Android means that certain notifications will be lost when newer ones come in. However, despite some of these limitations, you can see that Nokia had invested a lot of time and effort into the Lumia 800's design. It's seamless, effortless, natural, organic, and it feels like it was actually designed to fit in my own personal hands. The compact form factor makes it easy to hold, the unibody plastic design is just superb, and the camera provides excellent results. Furthermore, what I'm most impressed with is the curved AMOLED glass display on the Lumia 800. It not only makes it easy to swipe between screens, but it also helps to highlight the combination and the marriage of software and OS. You can see here that you can't really tell with the AMOLED display where the software ends and the hardware begins, and it's truly the first Windows Phone experience that's very integrative. Nokia had added some extra value with the phone's design, including bundling in Nokia Music, Nokia Maps, and Nokia Drive. This is a first generation smartphone and an excellent one at that, and many users will be happy with the Lumia 800 as their Windows Phone or smartphone choice for today. I'm Chung-Win with Notebooks.com, and thank you for joining me in this very detailed review of the Lumia 800 for Nokia.